Good day everyone, my name is Marcus, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. If not, thank you so much for supporting us all this while. Just remember that every like and subscription goes a long way in supporting our production. Now before we dive into today's video, have a look at these disclaimers before we proceed. Okay, so in today's video we'll be talking about the concept of an expanded Big Five. So for those of you who don't know what a Big Five refers to, it refers to the FAANG or FANG stocks, which are tech stocks which have experienced very high growth over the past decade. These 5 stocks are Apple, ticker symbol AAPL, Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN, Google, ticker symbol GOOG, and Facebook, ticker symbol FB. All 5 of these stocks are listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange, which is a heavily concentrated tech index. So in the month of August, we have seen how tech has continued to dominate, and the divergence between these 5 stocks and the rest of the S&P market has led to some red flags, with many calling it a technology bubble similar to the dot-com bubbles of the 2000s. Many people have been talking about how the stock price charts of these Big 5 have been going parabolic into the twilight zone. Apple became the first $2 trillion market cap company just a few weeks ago, and the Big 5 are nearing a 25% weight in the S&P 500 and a 50% weight in the NASDAQ 100. And not only does the price run-up of this Big 5 add to the argument of a narrowing market leadership, it also questions the utility of indexes that are supposed to measure the stock market and expose investors to a larger basket of stocks, but instead have become least diversified the more these 5 companies continue to grow. But the thing is, I don't want any of you to ignore the fact that I believe that these are all great companies with great business models and very sustainable profitability. A lot of people refuse to admit that these are the exact factors which leads to how a bubble will form. People dismiss valuation on arguments of even better future earnings and great business. And the problem is, once these mega companies decimate all their competitors, will earnings still be robust with a shrunken market size and shrunken economic pie? So the point of today's videos is not to debunk the fact that these Big 5 will continue growing, and I'm sure some of you are also invested in them. But rather, while the Big 5 occupy the top 5 positions in terms of market capitalization, I would like to add 5 more tech or growth stocks into this index, and I would like to call it the Big 10. These stocks are also seeing investors look beyond valuations in speculative hopes of future earning growth. These 5 stocks are Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA, Advanced Micro Devices, ticker symbol AMD, Adobe, ticker symbol ADBE, as well as Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. The forward PE of these 8 stocks is something that all the markets seem to care about. And of course, I have to admit that forward PEs are based on universally optimistic future earnings estimates by overwhelming bullish street analysts. However, these estimates still hold some meaning to them. For those of you who are not familiar with what the PE ratio is, do take some time to read it up in the link I've attached below. Okay, so just to give you some example, for the forward PE recorded by the Big 5, there are for Apple 30.12, Microsoft 32.89, Amazon 111.1, Google 36.50, Facebook 34.36. And this is very divergent from the S&P 500 equal weight mean of 20.5. And if we calculate from the aforementioned means total to around 80.87, which means that their trailing P is around 4 times that of the whole S&P, which is absolutely crazy. And you can decide for yourself if an 80 times forward P multiple is justified for this basket of 10 stocks. And if we take a look at some of the charts below for all of you technical analysis funds out there, if you look at the chart of the expanded Big 5 index, which includes all 10 stocks, we see how the stock market as measured by the other 490 stocks will be negative looking back a year and a half without the addition of a tech component. So you can see how much these tech companies are in a sense carrying the whole S&P index. And finally, if we measure year to date the spread between the expanded Big 5 index and the S&P 490, any rational investor will just bang his head against the wall. So in conclusion, valuations don't matter until they matter. Right now, investors believe that the best way to invest their money is to chase those few strong growth stocks higher and higher, even though they look to be heading closer and closer towards a bubble. In conclusion, our position on this channel is, like many skeptics, we see the recent developments in the equity markets with a very distrustful eye. The presence of naysayers like ourselves will invite a lot of hate and will inevitably push prices of the aforementioned stocks much higher, especially for stocks with a very strong fan base such as Tesla. But there will be a day of reckoning, and when history does repeat itself, consider yourself warned. Okay, I've attached some links to the channels and articles below which I took reference from. I'll be flattered if you have one key takeaway which you can share with your other friends. Leave any questions you have in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer all of them thoroughly. Stay tuned for the next video and invest safe.